Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you to the European Demography Forum, the second day of the Berlin Demography Days. And I do so on behalf of Population Europe and our partners. This includes the Diakonie Deutschland, with whom we are co-organizers for this event, and the partners of the Berlin Demography Forum. We have also several international cooperation partners involved in the Berlin Demography Days, namely the European Association for Population Studies, the International Union for the Scientific Study of Population, the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and the United Nations Population Fund. My colleagues Alanna, Armitage, and Nico Van Nimvieg will welcome you in a moment. My name is Andreas Edel. I'm the Executive Secretary of Population Europe, which represents the network of 36 of Europe's leading demographic research institutes. I would like to take this opportunity to express also my special thanks to the German government, which is represented by the Federal Ministry for Family Affairs, Senior Citizens, Women and Youth, and the Federal Ministry for Health, who are financially supporting this event, as well as to the Förderfonds Wissenschaft in Berlin, the donor of the European Demography Awards. At the opening events yesterday, we were especially honored by the participation of Ms. Dubravka Šuica, the European Commission Vice President for Democracy and Demography, and Mr. Stefan Zierke, the Parliamentary State Secretary to the Federal Minister of Family Affairs, Senior Citizens, Women and Youth, who both spoke yesterday. And you can see the video of this event in a couple of days, then also online on our YouTube channel. Most particularly, I would like to thank all the outstanding colleagues and experts who have or will give a presentation or contribute to the discussion today and tomorrow. We are delighted that we have been able to bring together such high-ranking and prominent representatives from policy, science, and society to the Berlin Demography Days. Thank you very much for participating and for your highly valued input. Ladies and gentlemen, demographic change is one of the most important future trends worldwide. The population developments that demographers predicted at the turn of the 21st century will be reached in the next 2 decades. The remaining baby boomers will reach retirement age, and population aging will continue. This poses challenges to the welfare states, especially in terms of pension and healthcare policies. Young people are raising questions about intergenerational fairness and their future prospects. Our populations are also becoming increasingly diverse, not only in terms of ethnicity, but also, for example, in terms of age composition, educational attainments, and family structures. In addition, there is a growing spatial dimension of demographic change, particularly in areas that are undergoing socioeconomic transition or characterized by population decline, which are remote or underserved. The question on how governments can provide good standards of living for the population, no matter where they live, becomes extremely relevant. For many reasons, some people currently feel unsettled and supposedly left aside. This is one of the many reasons why demographic systems are currently under pressure. The Global South, however, faces different challenges, which will be explored in the sessions tomorrow. In addition to the current demographic developments, we should also urgently look at the basis for our analysis. What data are available? Where could we possibly use entirely new data sources, and what can we learn from them? This is a basic prerequisite for any evidence-based policy. All these questions will be up for discussion during this year's Berlin Demography Days, and or were already raised yesterday. Now we look forward to today's and tomorrow's exciting presentations and discussions. Of course, we owe the fact that this all has been made possible thanks to the tireless efforts of many people, and I would like to conclude by thanking them very emphatically. The staff of Diakonie Deutschland and Population Europe, particularly Dr. Christian Oelschlegel and Claudia Keller, and my colleagues Antje Peters and Mahalia Thomas. Our moderators, who will guide us through the next 2 days, namely Michael Herrmann from UNFPA, my colleague Daniela Fono from Population Europe, and Nico Van Nimvieg from EAPS. Finally, the team of excellent interpreters supporting Johannes Hampel, as well as the excellent technicians from Medien, Ton, Licht and Nauen, who are providing technical support for our event. Thanks a lot for all your contributions. Let me end my remarks with one announcement. Professor Jane Falkingham, unfortunately, will not be able to give her talk today due to an unexpected family emergency. We are very happy and grateful that Professor Jonathan Portis, Professor of Economics and Public Policy, King's College London, volunteered to give a presentation on Brexit and immigration. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for joining us on such short notice. With that, I would like to wish you all an interesting and enlightening conference. Thank you very much for being with us today. And now let me hand over and introduce Alanna Armitage. She's the Eastern Europe and Central Asia Regional Director of United Nations Population Fund. Alanna, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Edel. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Nico Van Nimwegen, distinguished participants on Zoom and also on YouTube, dear friends, very warm greetings from Istanbul, Turkey. I'm so pleased to join Dr. Edel in welcoming the participants, thanking the sponsors for this exciting event and addressing the European Demography Forum today. The United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, is a proud partner of Population Europe and the Berlin Demography Days, which bring together this outstanding group of institutions and people. Within the UN system, UNFPA is the go-to agency on population issues. We're present in about 150 countries around the world, and we've provided advice and assistance to countries on how to address demographic challenges and opportunities for over 50 years. Over this time, the world has become more heterogeneous in demographic terms than it's ever been. And in many ways, Europe is leading the world into the next stage of the demographic transition. As we heard yesterday, awareness of and planning for demographic shifts are essential for democracies. We need to understand the basic characteristics of a population. Without that, it'll be a matter of chance rather than design whether our social and economic policies address the needs of people. The current COVID crisis has been a stark reminder of that fact. We know that regular surveys on population policies done by the UN show that the number of governments that harbor major concerns about population aging and population decline are growing. Politicians across the European region are concerned about how smaller and an increasingly older population will affect their country's economies and the future capacity to finance their social security systems and to maintain vital infrastructure and services in areas with low or falling population density. They may fear that a smaller country may be less powerful or influential, and they view their declining population as a long-term economic disaster and sometimes even a security threat. These, what we call demographic anxieties across Europe, have led governments to stepping up efforts to actively shape their demographic futures. And in many ways, this is very positive. However, attention to demography can carry risks too, when it produces anxieties that lead to responses that aren't based on evidence and have the potential to undermine fundamental democratic values. The risk is particularly acute where demographic anxieties are fueled and instrumentalized for political purposes. At UNFPA, we're concerned about how anxieties about fertility decline can result in increased pressure on women to have more children, restrictions on access to contraceptives and abortion, and opposition to comprehensive sexuality education for young people. These efforts are often part of broader attempts to redefine the role of women in society and in the family in traditional terms, to roll back previous advances on gender equality. We also see that demographic anxieties can be used, and I know we're going to be discussing that this morning, can be used to justify anti-immigration policies or rhetoric, or to favor one ethnic group over the other. These policy approaches not only challenge fundamental human rights, they've also shown to be largely ineffective. For example, as we know, narrow attempts to increase fertility by providing financial incentives alone have led to only small increases in fertility levels that have been mostly short-lived tempo effects, and any potential gains are meaningless in environments where outmigration has been the main driver of population decline. What we need instead is a positive, constructive, and comprehensive vision of how to address demographic change. A vision that doesn't see crisis, but a set of challenges that are manageable and opportunities that wait to be harnessed. And in an attempt to promote people-centered population policies and individual choice in line with the ICPD program of action, UNFPA has launched a new demographic resilience program in 2020. The program is designed to support countries in their quest to understand, plan for, and shape demographic futures through policies that are based on evidence and consistent with human rights principles. It offers support in gathering demographic intelligence, mobilizes expertise and exchange of knowledge, and assists with the design of social and population policies. At the core of what we'd like to achieve is that countries prioritize investing in their population's human capital, fully tap into the potential of all population groups, and create the right conditions for all people to thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, and as we heard yesterday from EU Vice President Commissioner Suica, demographic trends are here to stay. And as my former colleague and demographer Nikolai Botev often says, we have to stop focusing on how to beat new demographic realities back into the old social institutions and into our old notions of what population trends and patterns should be. We need to understand the real drivers of change and contest the types of responses that are based on nostalgia. Demographically resilient societies understand and anticipate the population dynamics they're experiencing. They have the skills, tools, political will, and public support to manage them so that they can mitigate potentially negative effects and harness the opportunities that come with demographic change for people, prosperity, and planet. The Berlin Demographic Forum is an ideal place to debate these fundamental questions of the 21st century in order to create stronger, more equal, more democratic, and ultimately more prosperous societies. Thank you all again, and I wish us all a very productive meeting. Thank you so much. Back to you, Andreas.
Thanks a lot, Alanna, for a really nice greeting and welcome. And with that, I would like to hand over to Nico Van Nimvieg. He's Honorary Fellow at the Netherlands Interdisciplinary Demographic Institute in The Hague. And at the same time, he's Executive Director of the European Association for Population Studies. Nico, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Andrea. And good morning to everybody. Great that you're here. Good morning also, Alanna. Great to be in such a good company. 3 times welcome. You must be very welcome, every one of you. And here is the 3rd one, because it's my pleasure on behalf of this European Association for Population Studies to welcome you to this event. It's a pleasure for us to be here, because as Europe's key professional association and multidisciplinary platform for the study of population, we are very happy to join this European Forum. This, we think, is a great new platform for the dialogue on critical population issues that our societies are facing and are coping with today, where the debate should be fueled and is fueled by evidence, scientific evidence, but also with the expertise of practitioners and policymakers. We hope that this forum indeed will deepen that dialogue and explore the latest evidence from the worlds of science and practice on a great topic, demography, democracy, and the welfare state. We have a great program ahead of us, and we congratulate Population Europe, Andreas Edel and his team for this initiative. We're very happy to join that as European Association. We look forward to great debates, and we have a very nice lineup of experts. So I would say, let's not waste any more time and let the forum begin.